If this is you, you've probably been staring at your phone wondering what changed. Just a few weeks ago, she couldn't stop texting you. Now, the replies are short, dry, and delayed. You replay conversations in your head, analyzing every word, every emoji, trying to figure out the exact moment her tone shifted. Maybe this feels familiar. That gut punch when she cancels plans, the coldness in her voice when she used to sound so alive. You tell yourself she's just busy, that it's just a phase, but deep down, you can feel it. The warmth that once drew you in is fading, and no matter how hard you try to bring it back, the more you chase, the colder she becomes. You start questioning everything. Was it something I said? Did I do too much? Too little? You scroll through old photos, remembering how effortless it felt when she was into you. Now, it feels like you're walking on eggshells just to keep her attention for a few seconds longer. And maybe what hurts the most is realizing that she used to look at you like you were everything. And now you can't even get her to look at you at all. So what do you do when the woman who once couldn't get enough of you slowly starts to lose interest? When every move you make seems to push her even further away? Because here's the truth. There is a reason this happens. And once you understand it, everything about how she's acting will finally start to make sense. Listen, man, when a woman starts losing interest, most guys panic. They feel it. The shift in her energy, the shorter texts, the lack of warmth, and their instinct is to fix it. They chase, they over-explain, they start doing more, hoping it'll somehow bring her back, but that's exactly what pushes her further away. See, most men get this part completely wrong. They think love or attraction is something they can convince her to feel again if they just try harder. But attraction doesn't work like that. It's not logical, it's emotional. The more you try to control it, the more you lose control. What separates strong men from the rest is their ability to stay grounded when everything starts slipping away. A man who knows his worth doesn't chase validation, he embodies it. He doesn't beg for attention because he understands this truth. The moment you start trying to prove your value to her, you've already forgotten it yourself. That's the core masculine principle most men miss. You don't win her back by fighting for her attention. You win by returning to your center, by standing still in your power, by letting her feel the space between you instead of trying to close it in fear. Because the truth is, when she loses interest, it's not a cue for you to do more. It's a test to see if you can be less without losing yourself. The room feels different tonight. Same four walls, same faint hum from the ceiling fan, but quieter somehow. Her laughter used to fill this space. Now, it's just echoes of it, fading between the pauses. You glance at your phone again. Nothing. No good night text, no little check-in like she used to send without thinking. Just the cold blue light of the screen reflecting off your face. You remember the way she used to look at you, eyes soft, curious, like she was discovering something new every time she saw you. Lately, it's been different. Her eyes drift when you talk. She scrolls while you speak. You try to tell yourself it's fine, that she's just tired, distracted, but deep down, you know something's gone missing. You replay old moments like a film in your head. That night in her car when she leaned over and whispered something that made your heart pound. The way her hand fit perfectly into yours, without thought, without hesitation. Now when you reach for her, she subtly shifts away. A half inch, maybe less, but you feel it like a mile. You catch yourself talking more, trying harder, filling every silence that used to feel comfortable. Her smile comes slower now, polite, forced, like she's trying to remember how she used to feel. And every time she looks away, it's like a small piece of you gets left behind in that space between you. You tell yourself not to care so much, to pull back, to be strong, but the silence after you say goodbye feels heavier than it used to. You close your eyes, trying to hold on to something that's already slipping through your fingers. And in that quiet, it hits you. She didn't leave all at once. She just stopped coming closer. Most men believe that when she starts to lose interest, it means they did something wrong, that they have to fix it, prove themselves, or win her back. But that's not the truth. The truth is, her fading interest doesn't always mean you failed. Sometimes it means you stopped being the man she was drawn to in the first place. Not because you changed overnight, but because you started building your sense of worth around her attention instead of your own purpose. Here's what most guys don't see. Women don't just lose interest because of boredom. They lose it when they stop feeling your presence. When your energy shifts from "I'm grounded in who I am" to "I need you to feel okay," She feels that instantly. Attraction fades where uncertainty begins. You can't hold her by tightening your grip. You hold her by remembering who you were before you thought she was the prize. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. The moment you start chasing her interest, you lose your own gravity. This isn't about her. It's about you coming back to the man she was once drawn to, the man who didn't need her attention to feel like himself. When she starts to lose interest, most men panic. They feel her slipping away and try to pull her back with words, effort, attention. But the 3% man moves differently. He doesn't chase energy that's pulling away. He observes it. He understands that attraction is not maintained through control, but through presence. This is what he understands. Women don't fall for effort. They fall for energy. The 3 man doesn't try to convince her of his value because he's already convinced. He's rooted, grounded. Whether she stays or goes doesn't define him. His center does. When she pulls back, he doesn't collapse. He gives her space to feel the difference between his calm and her confusion. That space is where real attraction lives. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure, by showing through his stillness that he's not moved by fear. He knows that emotions are waves. They rise, they fall. He doesn't fight the tide. He rides it with patience because he understands something most men never do. When you stop trying to hold on to her, you create the space where she can choose to come back. And that's the quiet power of the 3 man. He doesn't demand interest. He inspires it. He sits there in the quiet, phone face down on the table, heart heavy but still. The waiting has lost its purpose now. No more checking for her name to light up the screen. No more rehearsing words that will never be sent. Just silence. And for the first time, it doesn't feel empty. It feels honest. He exhales slowly, realizing it wasn't really about her attention. It was about what he gave up trying to keep it. Somewhere along the line, he stopped being himself and started becoming the version he thought she wanted. Softer, smaller, safer. He called it love, but it was fear. Fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. But in that quiet, something shifts. It's subtle, like the first light before dawn. Not dramatic, but certain. He remembers who he was before the noise, before the reaching. The man who laughed without waiting for permission. The man who moved through the world not to impress, but to express. He looks around, same room, same air, but different eyes now. He realizes she didn't take anything from him. He just stopped giving it to himself. And that's the moment he stops waiting for her to notice him again. Because he finally does. He smiles. Not the kind that hides pain, but the kind that comes from knowing he's back. Back in his power, back in his peace. And maybe, just maybe, that's what real freedom feels like. When she drifts away, let it remind you, not of what you lost, but of the strength it takes to stay true to yourself when love no longer does.